have no balls here.
What do you mean you have no balls?
Is there supposed to be balls in here?
There's balls in your sack, dude. They're fine, dude. They don't go away.
There's no in here. What is those?
Chloe, knock it off, dude. What are you talking about?
There's no. Remember?
I don't need to see them.
Do you know there's no balls in? There's no the thingies.
What thingies?
The round thing.
Oh, yeah!
Oh my God, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest. I had to put a humorous intro at the front of that video because there's nothing really to smile at right now. There's nothing to laugh at. I've always said to try and look at the glass half full, but what I thought would have happened today, and hey, people I'm sure in the comments are going to say, how did you not expect this? How did we not see this coming? I honestly thought with NDP jumping on things today, we were going to see Canadians getting some relief. We were going to see some hope that the carbon tax was on its way out. Now, I did say in my live stream, and I have said in other videos, that a no vote on what just took place with the carbon tax would seal the fates of everybody who voted against giving Canadians a break. Now, if you're just tuning in, if you haven't seen the news yet, the Bloc joined the Liberals in striking down Pierre's motion to exempt other people across the country from a break on the carbon tax on home heating costs over the winter. While eastern provinces get a 2-year pause, they're getting relief while the rest of the country is just told to shut up and pay because these pigs at a trough need to continue taking your money. They got to fill their slush funds. They have to run people out of their homes. They have to stop you from being able to afford groceries. They have to stop you from being able to afford to enjoy your life because God forbid anybody do that. Now, I don't take any pride in reporting on these negative stories, but I wanted to get this out as soon as possible after the vote so that everybody had a chance to see what's going on live, what's happening right at the time of filming this video. Now, if I head over to Twitter, as soon as you search carbon tax vote, this is what's piling up right now. The Bloc went against it, and they are exempt on the federal carbon tax. They shouldn't even get a vote on it. Trudeau must have offered them something again. Why are the Bloc allowed to vote? They have no carbon tax, and they couldn't care less about the rest of Canada. This is the question I'm sitting and asking myself is, shouldn't people that are only viable for the carbon tax be the ones to decide what happens to the rest of Canada? In fact, I have another statement that I'd like to make, and people can take this however they want, especially if they're from Quebec. But ladies and gentlemen, Alberta supplies Quebec with quite a bit of their home heating abilities. We forward natural gas over to Quebec. We also float a lot of our reserves as well as our transfer payments that allow them to live such a cushy lifestyle. I vote that if Quebec doesn't really want to take the time to care about the rest of Canada, we should cut them off. If they want to separate the country and divide the country, and if Justin Trudeau and his Liberals want to divide the company, or divide the country, sorry. See, I can't even get my words right. I'm so furious about this. If they want to divide the country, cut them off. Let's do what Scott Moe's talking about, and not just with carbon tax on home heating. Let's shut them off altogether. Let's shut the taps off, turn off everybody's natural gas, let them freeze. There are good, innocent, hardworking people in Quebec, but God damn it, folks, pardon the blasphemy. Maybe a couple of days in the cold will make them realize they need to start giving some form of a care about the rest of Canadians. People can't afford to live anymore. I don't like making these angry videos. I really don't. I like to keep things, at least for the most part, upbeat. I can't fathom what's going on right now. That this is where we've got to. Now, in terms of pushback, something I'm sure everybody's going to be talking about later, something that came up immediately after the vote. We have it over here from Jennifer L., showing us Liberal Ken McDonald, the MP who broke ranks on a vote a while ago, got called out on a point of order for giving the finger during his vote. Said he was scratching his face. What do you think? Now, of course, the Conservative MPs that were arguing this said, who scratches their face with their middle finger? And I would admit that, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, as you see this paused image, you do see 2 fingers on his face there. So, as much as I want this guy to go down for this, I don't know if anybody knows that using your index and your middle finger is also a sign of giving the finger the way he's doing it in the UK, which we're under the British rule. We're still under the monarchy, right? Well, not completely, but you know what I mean. We're still under the king's command, so to speak. A lot of people think this is a peace sign. If you stick your 2 fingers together at somebody facing this direction, that's worse than the middle finger by my recollection over in the UK. So maybe an argument could be made that he's trying to be crafty with this. I don't know, but it seems very odd that he is scratching his head. Again, if I turn on the video, we'll mute the volume there. You can see it several times. And this is during the vote. And you can even see the Liberal next to him smirking and smiling. They know what's going on. Come on. This is obvious. This is very obvious. I don't know what to make of this. I really don't know what to make of this. It's disgusting. It's disheartening. And quite frankly, it's sad to think that, not to think, to know. Like, it's kind of like one of those things when you think somebody's stealing from you or lying to you, and then you find out that they are. And it's like finding out the actual truth hurts more than sitting and stewing over it the whole time, having your doubts, having your own point of view on something only to have it confirmed. It's now confirmed that the Bloc and the Liberals hate Canada. And they hate Canadians. And they want nothing more than to divide this country and run everybody else into the poorhouse. While Quebec sits like fat pigs on the $16 billion that Alberta gives them every single year, so that a have-not province can be one of the wealthiest in the country. And I've said multiple times, as an Albertan, I have no issues sharing profits across the country with other provinces, so long as we can work, so long as we can get our product to market, so long as we are treated fairly. And today, democracy has died, as Canadians are not being treated fairly. One group is getting an exemption while they tout heat pumps. We've talked about heat pumps numerous times. It's been talked about in the House of Commons. It's been talked about by people like Danielle Smith. Below minus 20, I believe it is. It's either minus 20 or minus 25. You cannot get house insurance on a heat pump. You're not eligible for home insurance. They will not cover you if you have a heat pump. Heat pumps emit more pollution, according to Pierre Poilievre, in a statement that was made last week during question period, than natural gas. So why are we being punished for having a cleaner energy source in this country? There's people in this country that have to pay for electric heating, which I've been reminded in my comments is more expensive than using heating oil. Where's their break? We cannot afford for this government anymore. And while I will always say on this channel that I do not condone threats, physical violence, I certainly would never encourage anybody to behave that way on any side of the fence. I have to question, how long is it going to be before we see that? How long is it going to be before Canadians lose it all? I can tell you right now, as the father of 3, that if my lights went out and my kids were freezing, there really isn't a lot you could do to stop me or convince me that I shouldn't go to jail for making sure my family is looked after. That's not saying that I'm going to commit violent acts or that I'm promoting violent acts. I'm saying that there really is no length that people will go to ensure the safety and comfort of their families. And I've also said numerous times that just like a defenseless animal, they'll cower until you push them into a corner only so far before they bite back. And while I certainly am not standing up anytime soon and causing any violent acts, and while I am certainly not encouraging anybody here to incite violence or commit violent acts, I'm willing to bet there are some out there that are going to hit their limit. And I'm curious what that's going to look like. And what that's going to mean. More bans in our country, more aggressive stances on removing things from... They've already removed our news from social media. They're going to remove our firearms. They're going to lock us down. What more can happen at this point? This is a let them eat cake moment. And these pigs at the trough, while they put their snouts in the food and feed off of our tax dollars, I'm sure none of them will have to consider how their family's going to stay warm this Christmas. In fact, I'm willing to bet we're going to see photos of Justin Trudeau with his children at Christmas and Chrystia Freeland, just like Thanksgiving, where she takes a big picture of her wonderful, happy family and says, look how cozy and comfy we are, even though we don't have Disney Plus. Look at how happy we are because we've got everything we need. To hell with them. We need more action from our provincial governments. And we need more premiers like Scott Moe, who are going to stand up and say, no more. No more. We'll face the consequences. We're making a stand. This is what the trucker convoy did. It wasn't a bunch of truckers that wanted to scream about pokes. They wanted to scream at the government and say, you have no right to tell people what to do. You have no right to lock people in their homes. You have no right to impede their travel. We have a charter in this country. We have laws in this country. Those laws must be followed. And everybody championed those truckers because they had the stones to give up everything they had, which I might remind you, a few of those individuals are still sitting in a courtroom. Their pandemic hasn't ended. They put everything on the line so that you and I could enjoy our lives again. And here we are where an individual like Scott Moe is being threatened by Chrystia Freeland to be locked up in jail. Maybe she'll freeze his bank account if he stops collecting carbon tax as of January 1st. We need more people like Scott Moe. And us voters need to get behind and champion any MP that wants to take that stance, that wants to sit there, any elected official, any premier. I don't care if they're NDP, conservative. I don't care if they're liberal and they turn around and they say at this point, people need a break. I will stand behind and support what they're saying because they have common sense. I know everybody champions that as Pierre's saying, but they have common sense. There's only so far people can suffer. So, I mean, that's going to wrap it up on this video, ladies and gentlemen. I know I've been rambling and ranting. I had to get it out. I had to get my piece across. Again, I apologize. I don't like making these angry videos. I don't like making rant videos. I guess I expected a different outcome, and maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I was too gullible, and I'm sure I'll hear about that in the comments. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know down below what you guys think. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Our subscribers are going up at a really fast rate, and I really love to see this community continuing to grow at the way it is. And thank everybody who spends their time here, who watches our videos, and gives me your comments, your likes, your shares. Make sure to turn on your bell for notifications, as YouTube has informed me that only about 100 people out of 11 some odd thousand are notified when our videos drop. So make sure to hit that bell for notifications and join us every Sunday here on the channel when we do our live streams. We talk about everything that's happened in the week. We talk about everything coming up in the week ahead. It's a good chance to hang out with my community. I look forward to seeing you all there on Sunday. I'll have more coverage tomorrow. Pierre Poilievre has had a conference. He's made a statement, but that was live at the time of filming this video, so I'll probably be covering a lot of what he said tomorrow morning. So be looking out for that. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day as much as you can. God, I hate Mondays. Everybody take care. I'll catch you on the next one.